Hello, welcome to day 8. Today we're going to be talking about the reality of being a content creator. And before we move on, I kind of want to address that this is going to be an unedited video. So I just want to set the expectations to where this is going to be just me talking, rambling even, about what it's like actually being a content creator. So with those expectations set, I also want to say something and say that my experience of being a content creator is going to be completely different in comparison to someone else's experience. So this is my experience as being a content creator and the things that I've struggled with or the things that I like about content creation. So the first thing that I want to talk about is speaking in public or recording yourself, creating content in public. And it's a very interesting experience. And for me personally, whenever I record myself in my room when there's people in the house, I tend to be a little bit more shy, more timid, like I don't want them to hear me. But in reality, they know that I do this for a living and it shouldn't really bother me that much. So yes, right now there are people in the house and I am recording a YouTube video. It still kind of gets me a little bit, but I'm working through it. On a random note, the goal that I want to work on this video is to just be myself more, to express myself a little bit more and to just not be so uptight. So I kind of want to be be more comfortable in front of the camera, which means more relaxed. So yeah, so moving back to what we were talking about, talking or recording yourself creating content in public is a completely different story in comparison to recording yourself in a room where there are people nearby, because there's actually people looking at you, staring at you. And I've done it a couple of times while traveling, and it's so much easier when you're traveling because it is an unfamiliar place and people don't know you, right? So you don't really have to worry about people seeing you and then remembering you. And then if you are in a foreign land, that's like an extra thing because people won't even be able to understand you. So I kind of want to get to the point where I'm pretty comfortable with recording myself on camera. I don't think I'll get to a point where I'm completely comfortable, but I want to get more comfortable. I don't really remember what the last couple of sentences I said, but what I meant is I want to get more comfortable with recording myself in front of the camera, but I know that I probably won't be able to be completely comfortable. Just to clarify, hopefully that made sense. And I plan to do that by vlogging. Hopefully I want to start vlogging before the end of this year. I have a couple of trips planned and I'm pretty excited. This challenge where I talk to myself in front of the camera is definitely helping out a lot in terms of bringing my confidence up. So it's looking good. It's looking good. The next thing that I want to talk about is comparison. So when you're a small content creator like me, it's kind of inevitable to where you compare yourself to other creators, not just the larger creators, but the creators that are more around the same size as you are. And you see sometimes that they have a video where it just goes viral or they get a bunch more views than usual, a bunch more likes, a bunch more comments. And sometimes you ask yourself, why did they go viral? What about me? Why haven't I gone viral? So you have those kind of thoughts and it's just inevitable. The best thing to do would be to try to not compare yourself to them. And if you were to compare yourself to someone, it's who you were the day before, the week before, the month before, the year before. So yourself, essentially. And my nose has been really itchy. I think it's allergies, but anyways. So if you want to compare yourself to yourself, do it. As long as you're doing better, that's okay. But keep in mind that progress isn't a steady slope. It's up and down. So some days you're going to be doing a little bit worse. Some days you're going to be doing super good. So keep that in mind. The next thing that I want to talk about is learning to love the process of creating content. And sorry, my nose is so itchy, but the reason why I want to talk about this is because when I started off creating content, I really did not like editing videos. So the post-production part of creating content, I love the pre-production, I love scripting, I love planning out the shots, I love actually shooting with a camera and grabbing those sorts of B-roll and actually being behind the camera. But I did not like the editing portion about it. I don't know why. I didn't really like stitching the clips together, but I've grown to love that over time. And I enjoy editing now. I like picking my music. I like picking sound effects. I like learning about titles, color grading, and it's super interesting now. So I know it won't be like that with everyone. There are going to be things that people like to do and things that people don't like to do, and it's all personal preference. There's nothing wrong with that. And you know, I still tend to enjoy one process over the other, but it's just part of content creating. Sometimes you're gonna have to do things that you don't want to do, and that's okay. You gotta have that discipline and that self-control to be able to do what you need to do in order to succeed. The next thing, I guess we could kind of get into the financial part. I don't want to get into it too much. Just when you're starting off, it's going to be very, very random and not very stable. So there are times where you're going to be getting paid a lot less than you think you are. There'll be times where you won't get paid at all. There'll be times where you get paid enough, and then there are times where you're going to be getting paid a lot more than you thought you would. And it's just the reality of it at this point in my career. But I want to get to the point where I don't really have to worry about what I'm creating and not have to worry about the income that I'm receiving. So financial freedom is the goal, and I'm gonna work my way towards that. And yeah, another thing I want to talk about is time management. Time management is very important when it comes to creating content. When you're your own boss, when you're working for yourself, it's kind of cool because people think like, oh man, this guy gets to work whenever he wants. But for me, in reality, there are days where I don't get anything done. And then there are days where I work too much to the point where I get burnout. So just working or finding that balance to where you can work as efficiently and as much as you can without burning out is the goal. But you know, there's work-life balance. There are things that you have to do. Like for example, it's kind of hard at first because when you're starting off, all you're thinking about is work. I gotta make this video, blah blah blah. Like it sometimes happens during gatherings, dinners, hanging out with friends, and you kind of have to find that balance to where I'm not working right now, so I'm not gonna be focusing on it, and I'm gonna be present and enjoy the time with whoever I'm spending my time with. And for me, it took a little bit of time to learn that, but we've gotten better. And another thing that kind of goes with the comparison thought is the dependency, or I've talked about this before, but where you're so dependent on the amount of views, the amount of likes, the amount of comments that you get, to where nothing else really matters. It's kind of like the financial aspect. It could be the same thing with financial. So sometimes it can be a little bit discouraging if you're not getting the likes or the comments or the views that you thought you were going to get. or the amount of money that you're going to make, but that's not really what's important. The importance is that you're consistent, and as long as you keep working on this, in due time you will achieve your goals and you will accomplish what you've been planning to accomplish this whole time. And that's the reality of being a content creator. You should be working towards not goals that you can reach to where like 100,000 subscribers, but goals to where it'll improve your systems, and goals to where like I want to make one video every single day, or every time I make a single video I'm gonna improve something every time, and it has to be noticeable, stuff like that. Instead of like, oh, when I upload this video I want it to have like 10,000 views. So just a little food for thought, something to consider if you want to become a content creator, or if you are already a content creator and want to know the experience of another content creator. So yeah, I really appreciate you for watching this video. I'm so grateful if you've made it this far. If you want a community where we become the best versions of ourselves and we help each other out, share things that we like, mutual interest, then go ahead and check out Creator Crew. Link is in the description. I will work more on it. I will work on it as hard as I can, and I will accomplish what I need to do. We will do it. Anyways, that's it for now. Thanks for listening.